What's happening, guys? Silent Mike, Super Training Gym, Mark Bell's Powercast, HowMuchYouBench.net, Reebok1.com. Checking in, answering more questions on the Instagram. Make sure to follow me there, Silent Mike with 2 Ks. Make sure to follow me here to get all your answers for all your questions. Here we go, guys. If I drop my squats down to twice a week, should I keep the weight heavier and lower the volume? I think it depends on where you're going and then where you're headed. So it depends on what the goal is. If you mean your frequency is crazy high, maybe you're doing squat every day or squatting every other day. Typically, when you squat once, twice, 3 times a week, your volume's still gonna have to go up. The reason for raising your frequency is that your volume just naturally goes up. So if you're doing 2 sets of 2 twice a week, that's 4 sets. But if you're doing 2 sets of 2 every single day, that's like 14 sets. So that's kind of the reason behind higher frequency, added volume, plus the practice that you get. How do you clean slingshot knee sleeves? Best idea is probably throw them in the wash and then air dry, or even just hand wash. Some people I've heard boil them and then hand dry. Protein on non-lifting days. Protein on non-lifting days, I like to keep the exact same levels that I eat every other day. Typically, I'll eat 1 gram per pound of body weight or per pound of lean body mass. Everything else can kind of stay the same, but if you start to really track your food and you're trying to lose some weight or really optimize things, often I'll lower my carbs on rest days and up my fat just a hair, kind of keeping calories the same, if not calories slightly less on the rest day, just because you're doing less activity, obviously. Do you take any supplements for joints? I do not take any supplements for joints. I think if you're eating a decent amount of veggies, fruits, and fat, you should be okay with your joints. Obviously, when you start to really hammer your joints with skull crushers and curls and stuff like that, your elbows can flare up. Something like a fish oil, and then there are some joint supplements that some people say work. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll just start slamming fish oil is my deal. Before we even look at the questions, I got a million questions about what supplements I take, so let's just go into it a little bit. In my background, I kind of went from a basketball player who didn't know anything about working out. I always had a strength coach telling me what to do, so I just followed directions, into wanting to explore my own thing with strength and speed and power and getting bigger, stronger, faster. So I started to read everything on the internet, and everything on the internet at the time, this is maybe 10 years ago, was trying to help people, no doubt, but it's always a business, so people are trying to sell things. Maybe their information and the facts weren't as straight as maybe they are now, at least in my head, and obviously in my 10 years experience, I learned things. But I was trying every supplement under the sun. I was drinking shakes multiple times a day, protein shakes, protein bars, pre-workouts, creatine, glutamine. I was just slamming all this stuff because I wanted this accelerated progress. I wanted to get better, faster and faster and faster. I didn't want to wait the 10 years that I have to build a little bit of muscle and a little bit of strength. I wanted to just go. I wanted it now. That's kind of the American issue, right? Why we have these obesity problems and these addiction problems and everything else that America's culture has kind of bred us to be, is a little bit too quick, not respecting the process and not trusting the process, and just work, grind. So I tried all these supplements and I basically just got burnt out on them. 1, I got burnt out on them, and 2, I found more information that led me to not want them or take them. So I don't take any protein shakes. I'm just sick of the taste. They are basically just a food, so if you need help hitting your protein, it's not a bad idea. I do eat some protein bars here and there just because they're convenient and some of them taste pretty good. I slam Quest bars almost every morning just because they taste good, and I'm not that hungry, but I want to get some food in me. BCAAs I'll drink here and there. 1, kind of because of the taste, and then 2, some of the stuff that Layne Norton talks about, protein synthesis, this and that. When you get sick of drinking water, a BCAA is okay. It's not going to have negative effects. It may have some positive effects, even though arguably small compared to your general nutrition, sleep, and training. I'll take some fish oil here and there. When I remember, I'll take some vitamin D. I took creatine for a very long time, but I'm often just it's not in my regimen, so I don't take it daily. I'll just try to eat some red meat and hopefully get it that way. The one supplement that I take consistently is caffeine, normally in the form of black coffee, sometimes in the form of Monster before a workout, and that's about it for now. Would you ever go back to school? If so, what would you study? I don't see myself going back to school, but if I did, it would probably be something like maybe like psychology or some kind of leadership, something like that. Something more to help me deal with people. I think I'm a pretty good people person, but I can always improve, and I would always like to be better at helping people, getting with people. Communication, something like that. Programming currently for the week or month, break it down. My current program, basically, I'm not gonna like just go through it because that's why I throw all my training footage for you guys. So, you know, if you subscribe and see all these other training videos I put up, I basically talk about exactly what I'm doing, show every workout in my week. I'm working under Jeremy Hamilton right now, so he's programming for me, but before that, it was just volume, kind of just plugging myself, trying to get bigger, stronger. Jordan, Kobe, the King, or Steph? I can't get past Jordan's double three-peat. Would have been bigger if he didn't retire. Yeah, I mean Jordan. Jordan hands down. And behind that, it's Kobe. And behind that, it's probably LeBron. And then it's probably Steph in that order just because of what they've accomplished and the longevity of their career. Steph is an absolute stud. No, hands down, one of the most talented ball handlers and shooters that have been around in a very long time. But he's got to do it for another 5 years. You kind of say the same for LeBron. LeBron has been crushing it. Titles aren't everything, you know, in my opinion. Karl Malone's one of the best players ever, no title. But Jordan because of the titles and the what he accomplished every single year being so dominant. What do you think about 5-3-1, especially the BBB variation? I don't know that much about the, was it boring, but big variation in general, but I know 5-3-1 is a great program. Basic, can keep you going. As long as you stick to the program exactly, you know, don't hop up the percentages, use the training max that he suggests, stuff like that. What's the best way to work on the initial pull of the deadlift? If you're talking about speed off the ground and stuff, basically I'm a big proponent of just training, you know, in the 65 to maybe 80% range. Those weights are manageable, so you can train them quickly and train them perfectly. The faster you train and the more perfect you train, the more it'll translate over time. So getting into the perfect position over and over and over will help. So that speed off the ground, obviously it's some quad, some low back, how tight you can get your lats, how tight you can brace your core. So that's all that technique side, but then also just training that over and over and over will get you there. So speed off the ground, maybe some front squats, maybe some stiff leg deadlifts as accessories, but more so it's the starting position that you can get into. Should you work out with a cold or a flu? Did a whole video on it. Check back in the books if you should train when you're sick. Tips on improving your power and speed on the deadlift. Refer to my last answer about 30 seconds ago. Knees caving in on your deadlift. Knees caving in on your deadlift, depending on your stance, conventional or sumo, actually not really depending, is going to be the very same as knees caving in on the squat or any other lift. Even on the bench, we want to force those knees out. It's going to activate our glutes and keep our hips in a better position. Basically, what we try to do is this pterodactyl claw. We're going to grab the ground with our toes, all toes, kind of your big toe, pinky toe, and heel. You're going to grab the ground and you're just going to twist out. When you twist out with your foot, it's going to twist out with your knee. It's going to twist out in your hip capsule, and that's going to activate those glutes and keep those knees aligned in a good path for your whole movement. When are you going to do your next meet? Right now, my next meet is planned June 12th, I believe. Can you make tutorials for your smooth dance moves? I can't because I've never been taught how to dance. I just watched dancing and then I learned how to dance. I'm kind of a visual learner, but there may be something super top secret in the works to get you guys some dancing. Why are you so cute? I was born this way. I got it from my mama. That's from Lou, everyone. Life of Lou. He asks why I'm cute. He thinks I'm cute. How do you get over sticking points in the bench? You know, all these questions in my head start to mesh together. Starting speed on the deadlift and sticking points on the bench. The faster and more powerful you are, the less likely you are to hit these sticking points. And when you do hit a sticking point, it may be just because your strength isn't there. It may be a technique thing, and it may be a muscle imbalance. I just find that that's going to be less. So depending on where the sticking point is, there's a couple things. Obviously, one, you got to make sure your technique's good. Two, train the proper rep ranges, all rep ranges and proper percentages to make sure that you're slamming over and over, good speed and good form. Three, you can spend some time in that weak point. So say it's just off your chest, maybe do a Spoto press where you're pausing here, or even a board press where you're pausing there. And then four, it would be, you know, if your lockout's your sticking point, maybe you need to slam your triceps a little bit harder, grow those guys, shoulders a little bit harder. If it's off your chest, maybe some pause dumbbell press to really build up those big pecs for the big checks. Thoughts on Australia rules football? I don't know much about it, but it seems badass. Let's see some Olympic lifting. There's one video of me Olympic lifting. I think it's on Cal Strength's channel, maybe Mark's channel. Best assistance work for the sumo deadlift. Conventional deadlift, maybe a stiff leg deadlift. Stiff leg, both conventional and sumo. Sumo stiff leg will help a lot. almost poop yourself while doing squats or deadlifts? I almost is a very good question, because I don't know what almost means. Does that mean like it did happen but you don't want to talk about it, or it didn't happen, or maybe your stomach just hurt, or maybe you almost vomited? Almost vomiting is like when vomiting in your mouth, I think, but then almost pooping, I don't really know what almost pooping is, but I guess I'd say yes. I mean, you haven't really like maxed out if you haven't almost pooped. Mild pain in upper right lat when I low bar squat. So when you try to put the bar a little bit lower, that lat hurts a little bit, probably mostly because of mobility. So to do some face pulls, do some pull aparts with the band, warm up that whole shoulder. Check out mobilitywod.com or mobilitywod here on YouTube to get some better ideas on how to stretch that shoulder. That's it for this one, guys. Like that bitch, share that bitch, subscribe to that bitch. More videos coming. Stay tuned. Footage, Q&As, vlogs. We're partying all day, guys. I appreciate it. I'm out.
Let's go!